Pick up an Oreo. Go ahead. Really look at it. 2 dark chocolate wafers, white cream in the middle. The word Oreo pressed into the top like it was always meant to be there, like it was born this way. It wasn't. The Oreo you are holding right now is not the original recipe. The cream is not cream. The company that makes it is not the company that invented it, and the cookie it was copied from, the actual original, was made by people whose name you have never heard. Someone got erased from history, and the thing that erased them is sitting in your kitchen right now. This is the real story of the Oreo, and it is much weirder than a cookie has any right to be. We need to go back to 1908, not 1912, 1908. A company called Sunshine Biscuits, run by a man named Jacob Luce out of Kansas City, launched something the world had never seen. A dark chocolate wafer, another dark chocolate wafer, white cream sandwiched between them. They called it the Hydrox. Now, before you laugh at the name, and you should, it does sound like a toilet cleaner, understand that it made complete sense in 1908. Hydrox was hydrogen plus oxygen, the elements that make water. The idea was purity, science, cleanliness. America in 1908 was obsessed with food safety, with knowing what was in things. The name was clever, the cookie was revolutionary, and it sold really well. Financial publications were telling investors to abandon their Nabisco stocks and switch to Loose Wiles instead. Hydrox was being treated as a genuine threat to the biggest biscuit company in America. Not a Nabisco panicked. And in 1912, they did what powerful companies have always done when a smaller competitor makes something good. They copied it. On April 2nd, 1912, Nabisco unveiled the Oreo biscuit. 2 chocolate wafers, rich cream filling, looked almost identical to Hydrox. The main difference was that Oreo was slightly sweeter and had a much better name. So here is what actually happened. Hydrox was the original, Oreo was the copy. Sit with that for a second. Because everything you thought you knew about these 2 cookies is completely backwards. Being first does not mean winning. Hydrox had a 4-year head start. Food historians describe it as actually tasting better, crunchier, more complex, less aggressively sweet. And it had one real advantage Oreo didn't. Hydrox was already kosher, no animal products, clean ingredients, a genuine selling point for millions of American consumers. Oreo, meanwhile, was made with lard, animal fat, right there in the cream, which meant Oreo could not be sold as kosher for decades. And yet within a few years, Oreo was outselling Hydrox so completely that most people forgot Hydrox existed. The ones who did remember assumed it was the cheap knockoff. The copy had become the original. The original had become the footnote. One word explains it: marketing. Nabisco had $45 million in sales against Hydrox's $12 million. They had the shelf space, the delivery trucks, the advertising budget, and the supermarket relationships. Hydrox had a better cookie and a smaller war chest. In business, the war chest usually wins. By the time most Americans grew up, Oreo was simply the one that existed. Hydrox was the strange one nobody's parents bought. But here is the thing. Oreo was about to stop being Oreo too. Let's talk about what is actually inside the cream. The original filling was made with lard, actual pig fat. For decades, nobody really asked. It was a cookie. You ate it. You dunked it in milk. Then in the 1990s, health concerns about animal fats started rising. Someone sued because the filling was called cream but contained no actual cream, no dairy, no milk, just sugar and oil whipped into something that looks like cream but legally is not. After that, if you look at the packaging, you will notice something. It no longer says cream filling, it says creme, with an E, a spelling that legally means nothing and commits to nothing. The cream became creme. The recipe changed 3 times. Nobody announced any of it. You just kept eating them and thought something tasted slightly different. You were not imagining it. Now let's follow the ownership, because the Oreo has changed hands more times than most people realize. Nabisco made Oreo from 1912 onward. Then in 2000, a company called Philip Morris, yes, the tobacco company, bought Nabisco for $19 billion. A cigarette corporation now owned the world's most famous cookie. Then in 2012, Kraft Foods split itself in two. One half kept American grocery brands. The other took the global snack portfolio, including Oreo, and named itself Mondelez International. Today, Mondelez owns Oreo, the trademark, the recipe, and the global production rights, generating around $4 billion in annual sales across more than 150 countries. In 2015, Mondelez announced they were closing American Oreo factories and moving production to Mexico. Workers who had made Oreos for decades were laid off. A boycott followed. Politicians got involved. Many Oreos sold in America are now produced in Monterrey, Mexico, where Mondelez maintains large facilities manufacturing millions of cookies per day. And Hydrox, the original? Hydrox was discontinued in 1999, 3 years after Sunshine Biscuits was acquired by Keebler, which was later acquired by Kellogg's. They tried renaming it Droxy's. It sounded like a pharmaceutical product. It failed. Production stopped entirely in 2003. Then in 2015, it came back. A small company called Leaf Brands revived it. And almost immediately, Leaf Brands filed a complaint with the U.S. Federal Trade Commission against Mondelez for hiding Hydrox cookies from customers on store shelves, not outselling them, physically hiding them, moving them behind other products, making them impossible to find even when technically in stock. So, back to that Oreo in your hand, the name nobody fully understands, the creme that is legally not cream. The recipe changed quietly at least 3 times. The American factory that closed. The original cookie it copied that most people have never heard of. The tobacco company that once owned it. The global corporation that owns it now. You probably still want to eat it. And that is kind of the point. More than 500 billion Oreos have been sold worldwide across every recipe change, every corporate reshuffling, every version of itself. Because here is the thing, none of the history changes. Food Republic. It still tastes exactly like you remember it tasting when you were a kid. The cookie changed completely, and somehow it stayed exactly the same. Twist it, lick it, dunk it. Just maybe think about it a little differently next time.